What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is the Move the Sticks 360 series. I'm Daniel Jeremiah, joined as always by my partner Bucky Brooks. And today in the hot seat, we have the Heisman Trophy winner, Alabama running back Derrick Henry. What's going on, man?
Not much.
You don't know. I know you know what you got yourself into here, because this is not your normal interview. What we do here on our 360 series. This is the way this is going to go down. We'll have some fun, happy questions, some softballs for you right off the top. Okay. After that, we're going to let Bucky break down your tape and tell you what he sees in your game, and then we're going to flip it around. We're going to put some tape on some NFL players that kind of have a similar running style, maybe similar size to you, and we're going to ask you to put your scouting hat on. You ready to roll?
All right, sound good.
All right, well, let's start off with some softballs, though, first of all. Were you sore after high school? When I saw the number of times you toted the rock in high school, you're like the all-time leading rusher in like across the country in high school football. I mean, after a game in high school, as big and strong as you were, did you even get sore?
No, I didn't really get sore. I don't know. I think like when you're in high school and you're a kid, you're not really worried about things like that, being sore and nothing like that. And like in high school, I remember talking to some of the guys back in Alabama. I'm like, man, high school, I didn't know where the injury was because I carried the ball a lot, but I just never really got hurt. I was always practicing, always working out, but just never really was sore after a game.
You know, Derrick, we go all the way back. I remember watching you at the opening at Nike headquarters and being 6'3", 240-something pounds. At the time, you were running 4.4s and vertical and everything. How tempting was it for coaches to want to move you away from running back to play another position? Did you have to deal with that at Alabama?
That was a speculation, but I never got recruited from a school to play another position. It was always running back, and when I got to Alabama, it was running back as well. So it was never another position at all.
Were you frustrated at all early on in your career at Alabama? I mean, there's so many running backs that were there before you. But I remember, for instance, going to the Sugar Bowl. Right? Oklahoma had a good one that day. I remember you popping a long run, and I remember I'm sitting up in the press box like, why are they just giving this dude the ball more? This is a rare combination of size and speed that you bring to the table. But coming off of just being the man in high school, then early on in your career at Alabama, not getting those carries, was that frustrating for you?
It was frustrating at first, but until you understand it, it's a lot more to the game. In high school, you can put your best player out there, and he can make plays. I'm saying against anybody. But in college, it's more attention to detail. The little things matter the most, and that's one thing I had to stand. And it was a humbling experience, a learning experience, and I had a lot of good guys in front of me that I learned from and helped me get where I am today. So it was just a learning experience for real.
And speaking of some of those guys that you've had the opportunity to learn from, those guys have gone on and played in the pros, the Trent Richardsons, the Eddie Lacy, some of the other guys, some of the Alabama guys that come back. When you've had a chance to speak to those guys about being successful in the NFL, what are some of the lessons they've taught you?
You just got to go in there and work hard and study the game and just go overboard with working on the field, in the film room and things like that, and just being consistent. Because in the NFL, if you're not consistent, then you're not going to play, and you're going to find yourself out of the league. So.
Well, look, that's our softball. Softballs are over now, Derrick. All right, let's get down to the fun stuff here, Buck. Let's throw some tape onto this guy running.
Yeah, let's roll the tape.
And let's let you break him down a little bit here, Buck.
You know, Derrick, like you were one of the fun guys to watch because having watched you in high school, having watched you continue to grow up, I was fascinated by how your game would eventually kind of emerge and develop at the collegiate level. And the one thing that we don't see, you normally just don't see guys that are that big, that fast, that physical. And so this year, when I finally got a chance to watch you tote the mail, all those traits that I look for showed up. You're big, you're fast, you're physical. I love the way that you finished runs. You had big playability, which is huge. And then the other thing that I like we see a couple stiff arms here or whatever, you ran with an attitude, and then you were a workhorse. In our league, we always talk about guys that can tote the mill, that can run it 20-plus times. I looked, 11 games you had 20 or more carries. Down the stretch when they needed to put it on your back, you're more than willing to be able to do that. To me, you're everything that a feature back should be, a guy that can close the game and kind of finish it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you agree with this analysis there? What are we missing here? What's an aspect of your game that maybe goes underappreciated?
I don't really say nothing's unappreciated, but I feel like it was on me that let these questions out about me right now. So I feel like when I get an opportunity, then I'll show it. But right now, I just talk. I can't really do anything about it.
Well, I will say the questions that most scouts, when we looked at you and when we talked to other scouts, they're centered around, can you catch the ball out the backfield? How comfortable are you being integrated or incorporated into the passing game? And then there's a worry, because you're such a big, long strider, can you create in the hole if something is there. We talk about you need a bit of a runway. So if it was a situation where you couldn't get in the I or in the dot formation where you're 7 yards deep in the backfield, I feel like you could be successful in an offense that kind of had you doing maybe some of the spread stuff or stuff that wasn't necessarily downhill between the tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like to do that because I feel like that's what the game is coming to. It's more of a passing game now, and I would love to be a receiver out the backfield just because I feel like my height, my advantage, I can be able to catch the ball, and I mean, it's something I definitely love doing. I'm not just want to be just known as a downhill runner, just down straight, but I love to be a receiver. I didn't get many opportunities at Alabama, but I mean, I never question my coaches.
All right, but before we get to some tape, we're gonna let you start evaluating here. Before we get to that, real quick,
all right.
I did hear at the pro day, right? There was no receivers there to throw. So I heard you played some tight end at the pro day. You ran routes and caught the ball. And I actually talked to some guys that were there. I said, man, if this dude wants to play tight end, he can play tight end right now as well. You caught the ball really well there. How'd that go for you?
It went good, and I just wanted to show that I could catch the ball in the backfield and out of the backfield.
You're running routes like you look like he was Jimmy Graham out there.
I know,
at the pro
Jimmy
day.
Graham, the funny thing, because we always ask this, sometimes when I was a scout, we would ask, what's your favorite play? Like, game's on the line, we're going to give the ball to Derrick Henry. Like, what is the play that you want?
We got to play called Peter. It's a power play. Right up the A gap, and I just love that play because it's
guard pulls, you come right down,
it's like,
shoulder square.
That play is like you got to stop us. I mean, we come right at you, so that's one of my favorite plays.
All right, let's roll some tape here, Derrick. You ready to do some scouting?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's tough to find big backs to compare you to, and so we've gone back in time a little bit, got some old school running backs who have your kind of combination of size, speed, and power.
All right.
And so the first one we're going to take a look at here, Bucky, I believe we got some Brandon Jacobs.
How about that? Now, you familiar with Brandon Jacobs?
Yeah.
Long time ago, New York Giants running back. Big physical back.
All right, tell me a little bit what you see here from this big boy.
If I can get like a end zone, I feel like
they don't give us the all 22 on here, so we got to go old
school
school TV copy here.
He got north to south, and then finished behind his pass. That's how you supposed to run the ball. And I don't know about the dancing part. But so made this read outside. Oh,
you got that club in your bag?
You got that tool in your toolbox. You got a little leap.
Yeah, I definitely will.
All right, there's another running back, by the way. Is a guy that Bucky played against.
We'll go old school. We can go all the way back, 90s, early 2000s. There was a back at Tennessee, Eddie George.
Oh, yeah, Eddie George. I definitely know who this is. HEISMAN brother.
Woo!
That's one of the nice moves. Finish behind his pass. That's right.
How hard is it for somebody that's tall like you are to be able to get crouched down, be able to put a shoulder on somebody?
That's the only thing. Is you're so tall, so the main thing is just running behind your pass and running low. You got to be able to bend.
How about that? You do a little bit of this Alabama, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Little tall sweep. Tall sweep.
Definitely like that.
Yeah, so when we looked at those guys, we saw, like, we're always in the comparison business when we're scouting because we're trying to paint a picture. And so these guys stood out to us as guys that you could probably evolve to. Who's someone that you look at on Sundays that you look at and say, you know what, I'm going to pattern my game after him?
Well, I feel like everybody has their own unique style, and nobody's the same. But, I really love watching Adrian Peterson and Marshawn. They just run the ball hard.
Run angry.
And play the game the right way, and I feel like those are the old school backs. Everybody wants the little scat backs and all type of this, but I feel like that's what football. That's what football is. It's old school, pound you. So you got to stop me. So that's what I like.
Old school, pound you. I'll tell you what. The one thing that just came to me here, Bucky. You talk about Eddie George, Derrick Henry, Daniel Jeremiah. We all got first names. Eddie George made it. I want to be more like Eddie. Go that route. All right, that's going to do it for us here on Move the Sticks 360. Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, the Heisman Trophy winner, Derrick Henry. You can check out all of our 360 series on YouTube. A lot of the top prospects in the draft sitting in that chair right there. We're scouting them, and we're letting them do some scouting as well.